Imagine living on the west coast of Florida this summer, not having to deal with one but two major hurricanes. Imagine losing a friend, a family, associate. Imagine losing your house, your business. Imagine you just recovered from a storm 2 years ago and somebody I was talking to, they just rebuilt their house and Helene came in and destroyed it. And now they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can live here anymore. Where do I go? What do I do? Imagine this is where you live your business. You own a restaurant. You own a hotel. You own real estate. That's how you made your money. You're an agent. You're a broker. And all your deals just blew up. The whole market imploded. Well, folks, this is not a joke. This is the reality. This is what people are facing. And so today we're going to jump into these two hurricanes. What is the cost? What's going on? How could just change? Is there going to be a mass migration? What's currently going on in the real estate market right now? Have sales plummeted? Have listings plummeted? Are even people interested in staying there anymore? We're going to dive into what I'm hearing out there, what we're seeing in data, and try to make some sense of this. But honestly, at the end of the day, this storm could cost up to $300 billion for both these storms, between personal damage, property damage, the whole thing, business loss. It could be even more. It's just devastating. In places like Asheville, North Carolina, which some of us never heard before, it's now on our minds, on our thoughts, on our prayers. That market is like a bomb dropped on it. The real estate market is dead. There's nothing going on. People are just in survival mode, lost their businesses, their house, everything. There's no streets, power still affected. So this is real. And how are we going to recover from this? How's insurance costs going to be? It's just insane. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Kenny Simpson. If you're first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I focus on 1 to 4 unit financing. I've helped over 5,000 clients, funded billions of dollars of loans. And yes, I make videos like this to help educate people on what's going on out there in the market, the real estate market, how we could be affected by, hey, in this case, a hurricane these storms are already affecting our insurance prices, which brings cost up. Whether you own a house, investment property, even a car, we're seeing insurance costs go up across the board. And two hurricanes like this is only going to make it worse for all of us, because at this point we're all in this together, because the cost is starting to be passed on to all of us consumers. So this summer was an interesting summer. Hurricane Helene and Milton came ashore on Florida's Gulf Coast and then just ripped through the state and other states, causing catastrophic damage, death, flooding, devastation. And here we are to talk about it. And I wanted to talk about it because I remember in 1992, I just moved here to California with my parents, and a little hurricane that you might have heard of called Hurricane Andrew, which was not little, which was one of the worst hurricanes ever, if not the worst, came through South Florida and basically decimated that place. And we did not sell our home. And in recovery, a lot of people moved, a lot of people were displaced, a lot of people decided to shut down their business, some rebuild, some went up to states, moved out of state. It honestly felt like it changed all of Miami and down there. And if you wanted to rebuild, they changed the laws, made it harder. And so here we are today, 20 plus years later, and now we're dealing with devastation. Even though there's been hurricanes that keep hitting other spots, Florida is obviously one of the biggest spots to get impacted. Obviously, it can change how streets look, trees down, buildings, businesses, you name it. And let's dive into it, because I want to check the impact of Milton and Helene on how it's going to affect housing, how it does already affect housing, and dive into some of the details here. So the financial impact of both these storms is going to be insane. There's numbers being thrown around that just Helene could be 250 billion. Milton, because there's already damage from that, it's coming in behind it, is probably saying 35 billion. Nobody really knows, but obviously people have died. There's business affected. So the damage is just beyond monetary. It's going to be generational changing, life changing. And it's almost like for a lot of people hitting the reset button. But the biggest problem with this impact is the insurance. Are the insurance companies even have enough money to pay for this? Is the government going to come step up? Most of these people, when I say most, like 98% of people did not have flood insurance. So how are we going to move forward from this? And that's the big unknown. And as time goes on, we'll hear more about it. But I think 1 to 2% of people actually had flood insurance, got hit by all this. And a lot of the damage was from wind, it was from flood. And the insurance companies are going to be sticklers probably about how they, pay for this, give you money, adjustment, all that. So it's just going to be a tough, sad situation. So if you take some of the housing market vulnerabilities, what's going on, if you take places like Tampa, Asheville, North Carolina, that market is dead. Everything's turned off. listings, nothing's going on there. There's no way anybody's going to write loans, insured properties. They're in total destruction, total cleanup, and they're feeling it. So there's places like Tampa, parts like that, where the inventory is down 50%, parts 30%. So inventory fell off a cliff. People now, there's 500,000 homes that need to get repaired. So even if you just recently got a refi, did a purchase, that lender might be coming back asking for a property inspection damage report. They want to see what's going on. Nobody wants to lend to a property that's been damaged, run down, flooded, destruction, all that stuff. So that is going on in these particular towns, cities, states. That's going to be going on for a while. And, people just recovered from a storm a couple of years ago, and now they're having to deal with it again. So I wonder how many people will actually stay. But also at some point, let's take the town like Cedar Key. They just dealt with the storm come through there, then 115 years, flooded the whole town, rebuilt. And I was watching some interviews. It came in, they had 9-foot storm surge with Helene, came in, hit them, then they get hit by Milton. Are they going to rebuild? Are they going to are they going to stay? Are they going to recover? And what goes on? And a lot of the decisions come down to, can they get the money? Can they get the insurance? Are their employees going to be able to stay there? Are people that work at all these restaurants and stuff going to have to go migrate, move somewhere else because they need money to live? They can't. Most people don't have the savings to sit around and stay. So how's that going to affect things? So looking at both hurricanes here in this little chart that's broken down, category for Milton is a category 3, landfall October 2024, estimate cost up to $34 billion, uninsured flood losses $4 to $5 billion, death toll 16, property damage, wind, and localized flooding. Hurricane Helene was supposed to be the weaker of the storms, but actually when it hit, it was a 4. September 26th, literally a month prior. Estimated cost is 30 to almost 50 billion. Uninsured flood losses 20 to 30 billion. That storm, the costs are actually going to be much higher than that. The death toll is at 246 and widespread flooding. The crazy thing is that 95% of those losses are uninsured, folks. A lot of people will have to sell if they have any equity, will work with the banks. If they own a property free and clear, they'll just have to sell, they'll rebuild. I don't know. It's going to be real tough. It's going to be a sad situation. It's hard to see. We will, in time, I'll come back, report what people do, but it's not going to be good. I think after a storm like this, this will push people to get flood insurance. So a couple of things you need to do right away is, obviously, if you're in these, you're going to buy, you need to consult with, lender, real estate agent, and insurance broker before you start looking. Get with an insurance broker, see what the cost is to insure the condo, the house, the units, whatever you're going to buy. Make sure you understand, do you want to get that flood insurance? Probably smart. What does that even cover? What does it not cover? All these things matter when it comes to risk. In a place like this, there's going to be a lot of vultures, what I call moving in, where people are going to take advantage of people that lost everything, buying land, buildings, apartments, motels, and helping rebuild. And so if that's somebody that you're going to come in there, I'm not calling you a vulture. I just say they're like vulture funds, vultures. When, something's dead, something bad happens, animal dies, and nobody can revive that, a property, they come in, that's what they prey on, but people are going to get a deal. So out with the old and with the new. Hate to say it, happened in Maui, it's happened all these hurricanes, instances, happens in floods, fires, all that. It's sad, but that is true. And people will come in, and if you're going to come in, you really want to make sure you understand when's the last time a hurricane hit. If a hurricane does hit, what was the damage by? Did it get more flooding, rain, wind? You really understand when you buy all these factors, right? Because it's going to matter if another hurricane comes through. It's like, oh, this damage was by wind. It wasn't by flooding. We're far enough from the coast, or you are close enough to the coast. And you want to factor all these things in. That's why having a local good agent will help you. Obviously, you can do some reading and research online. Think about it. When you are buying an older home, it was built older, so it was not built up to the hurricane standards, things like that. So if you're buying a brand new home, it's probably got built to handle an impact of a category 5 hurricane, or just like here in California, if you're getting a new property, it has to be a certain structure to handle a certain earthquake. So you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're in real estate, you got to make sure you check this stuff out. Old versus new. What's it worth? Obviously, getting insurance, old versus new, doesn't matter. Does it change the game over time? What's the difference? And looking at your cash flow, looking at your purchase price, looking at your cost to run the property. Also, too, is there going to be legislative changes in these areas? Take Florida, when the condo collapse happened, it changed the game for all the condos there. It's hard to get insurance. Now they got to get all these inspections, fix things. It's tough. So when things happen like this, legislation can change, laws can change, insurance can change. Are insurance carriers actually going to stay in there? Are they going to pull out? Now, is the government going to have to become a quasi-insurance here in Florida pretty soon? Who knows? And also, too, a lot of people are going to be relocating into Florida, buying investment properties, or selling your stuff and moving it to another state. You got to be looking for where are you buying, what's there, what's this. So anytime you buy properties anywhere, you should know what you're buying, and you should know what kind of weather comes through there, what kind of jobs, schools, the whole thing you should be looking, right? So if you're buying somewhere in Florida, a second home, and you know the weather can get gnarly or storms can come in, and there's a possibility your house could be taken out with the hurricane, a lot of people are okay with that. They're like, I'm used to it, I'm okay with it, I lived here, I'll rebuild, whatever. That is a mentality, but it might not be your mentality, so you want to make sure you understand this stuff. And to wrap this up, look, the mindset is people buying in these hurricane areas, there'll continue to be storms. It seems like we're in a very active cycle season. Could it slow down? Is this what's to come? Obviously, if we see more and more hurricanes hit Florida and this is becoming the norm, this would probably not only change the market there tremendously, and this one might, it's going to change insurance, but it could change legislation. But also, if this is what we're dealing with, this type of cycles, and this keeps happening over and over, there are going to be some massive changes coming down the pipeline from state level, national level, insurance level, lending level, all that. So keep your eyes open and ears. So obviously, when you're buying an area that has more volatility from weather, whether it's earthquakes, whether it's tornadoes, storms, flooding, fires, you got to be aware of all this. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, if I can help you, reach out, send this to somebody that might need it. But remember, in real estate, the team makes the dream work, as I always say. So make sure, whether you're buying here or anywhere, you have the right lender, loan officer, CPA. If you're using a financial advisor, insurance broker, make sure you have a great team. Right now, insurance brokers are more important than ever. Some of them that got new into the business are not as great. They don't have those long history of relationships. And so just like a lender, just like an agent, just like a mortgage broker or insurance broker, when times get tough in real estate, the ones that have been doing this the longest tend to get a lot more business, tend to give you more advice, and tend to help you out more. And so for that, I'm out. See you guys soon.